Hey there, Joy of the World, friends and family. I am Joy, here to take a peek at what I don't know, but it seems to have something to do with a little bit of love going on here. The thing that goes thump, thump, boom, boom in the center of your chest. And the deck I have sitting around has this at the top. It's the Ace of Wands. It's talking about blossoming forward, moving forward into your story. It's not going to be a stepwise process, like putting the seed in, waiting, watching it grow. You know, for a rose to bloom, it takes a moment of time. Or is this a peony? Yeah, a peony. Okay, that takes even longer. That takes 2 years. But here, all she's doing is opening up to the possibility, and the magic begins to happen. Boom, full blossom right in front of you. That's pretty exciting. I want to put it here because this thing came out when I was cleaning up the decks, and it said, hold it there. And Wolf Spirit, Family, and Guardian of the Land, Protection came out, 51 and 21. That's quite a span of time, 30 years. Who is that significant for? I love it. There, the Wolf Spirit, that green breath, that puff is coming on. Okay, Chiron. There's something that we're about to turn the page on from 30 years ago. If you weren't born yet then, that's okay. We're talking about kind of the pace of where the earth was at during that time. So that would be 30 years ago. That would be 1992. Girl, you gotta date yourself. That was when I was supposed to graduate, but I graduated a year early. So it has been a minute. It's like when you step forward into your dreams, into the next phase of your life. And often we do things either the way we think we should in our community or our culture where we come from, or else we kick back and push back against that. You know, I went through the motions, but then life took a different turn all of its own. So we're going to see what is coming up. It's like picking up from there. So we're going to get a little encouragement card here. I am ready to accept and receive miracles beyond what I've experienced. Who is in that? If you are right now, nobody can see you up in your private space. Give it the woo, woo right up in here, because we ain't just about woo, woo here. There are so many channels that already do that so well. We're about the woo, woo. That means it coming on in. I've got it. It's good. I'm plenty. I know it. That type of energy. Do you see that? Oh, look. I love it, y'all. I'm behind it. I'm creatively inspired by my surroundings, and life is my canvas. Okay. Blank canvas is what Chiron's talking about here. Look at this green puff of breath. That is what is in the breath. Look what a trip this is, y'all. Look, the sprout. Oh, the word. Oh, what have you written down and been believing for? What are the things that you promised yourself that you hoped would have come true, but maybe things didn't turn out? They took a whole different turn than what you were thinking. I'm just going to leave it hanging on that, because I just like, I'd say I'm dumbfounded, but I'm more gobsmacked. So, oh, I see some tea leaves back here. I'm picking a chunk, and where we're going to go from there, gong. An exciting event. Bang a gong. Get it on. What did he say? And the bow came out with it. You are highly thought of. Get ready for the respect. And it's not about earning or deserving. Maybe you don't even feel worthy of it. Maybe, like me, you feel like a big fat failure of having had no victory or success in your life. Loving life, loving the people who are in your life, striving, moving forward, all the stresses of it, of the ignorance, of moving through the ignorance, of walking through innocence, gaining wisdom and knowledge, and trying to understand this chaotic world we've been living in, which is so unnatural to what is in my heart, to what I believe for all of us. Sorry, I'm working on the setup, y'all. Look at it, your prayers being answered. Anyways, a chunk came out there, and I'm gonna take look at all the screen coming on. Number one, career. Picking up where you left off, you're getting back on track with who you are. Not just what you do, but who you are. The two coming together, merging. Kind of like you need two hands to clap, celebrate, coming on, merging with yourself. It's like coming around the mountain when she comes. Then we also have the next track, marriage. Look at that. Another rose. Well, that was a peony. That's right. Coming on in. But there are 3 rings in here. There's a promise. There's something greater than yourself going on. Then we have another astral house. We have the house of wealth coming on in. Look at that. And not just wealth, it's fortune, because those coins have the hole in the center. What kind of like the center of yourself has the shishimna, the column, the shekinah, the whatever, where the pure white light blows on through. And that's the wolf spirit coming on in here. Chiron is bringing in the help of the guardians and the guides, your radiance. I see Ace of Pentacles lighting up with that. Ooh, ooh. And under there, y'all, I don't even remember because these came out and they said, stack it like this, walk away and leave it alone. What is that? Sunrise. Let me read what it says. New creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. There's that blank canvas. I say yes to those new creative ideas and new ventures. This thing has been working for a minute. We're talking about 20 years. So to have that rise and divine in me and to know surely in my path, to be able to see clearly, both in my mind and in my heart, as well as my soul. The Ace of Pentacles is coming in with that. But in this case, it's not so much that shield above the head. That is the protection and the guardianship that they're talking about. But it's bringing in this new life. This ace down here. This is you, that blossom rising from the depths. This is showcasing almost like coming up through the icebergs. Like the depths. Ooh, bringing up the depths of your wisdom. Things that have been frozen in time. Oh, the guardians of the land and the protection. Oh, you bringing up the belly of the underworld. I'm so excited to find out what is going to go on there. Ooh, they may be bringing this out for a few minutes, y'all. And I'm not talking about this session. This may be a whole new revelation coming on in. Because remember, it's talking about new creative ideas and ventures. The ventures like adventures, how to move in it and the way to go in it. Okay, so under there we have stork. News of a birth of a new business opportunity. Woohoo, yes. The moon changes in your life and coins. Money will be coming to you. Who has been dry as a damn darn dang desert for a long time? Get ready. 2 snaps up for your dessert. It is the sweet time of life coming on in. Somebody had posted a comment on a different reader's board the other day, and it was of a dream that they were having, and it talked about the wedding feast coming in. They were talking about the happy people sat at the table. And when Chiron comes in the wolf, this is the healed wolf, the healed wound, okay? The slaying of the old, the clearing out of the old, the rendering it closed out, complete, closure, moving on, clean slate, all right? For some of you, that's debt being wiped out. Some of you, it is clearing out of some old marital issues. Maybe the reason it's been fogged up is you were carrying some old tit for tat from marriages you witnessed when you were growing up. So there's this new birth, this new bond coming in, whether it's with that person or not, it is definitely with yourself. But seek your heart and your dreams. That is the abundance of joyfulness coming forward. This is more than just money, y'all. It is, yes and amen, but it is also that guidance and that guardianship, the being able to see clearly. No more that old stuff fucking it up, holding you back, tearing you down, pushing you off. No more king of the mountain type. Ooh, gong is ringing. No more king of the mountain. No more that egoic pride. I'm talking about you, others, the world, the whatever, the low-minded thinkingness, the stepping on other people's turf, toes, and territory. I didn't remember that when I listened back, because I sure do. They're saying get up under this 2 of wands. All right, so this is coming in. How are you doing this, Chiron? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I see. Let me get this out of the way, y'all. I am like, he is ready to run. Now, Chiron is not just talk about the wound, it's also the wound healer. Just like the venom is also used to make the anti-venom, okay? So that's what the completion is, the coming full circle. It's about overcoming the nodes. And the nodes operate like hands on a clock, not just the hours of the day, but also the days of the week and the months of the year and the years ad infinitum going on. It's these measures of time and being constrained and contained within that time. But this talks about kind of like, if you watch the Wednesdays, they're about the Wonkavator, the wild woman, that type of thing, and moving in our nature, trusting our instinct, and moving about like in this, the divine I, okay? That rising up in you, the great I am. Okay, so I don't know where I was going with that, but they stopped, so here we go. Life going from black and white into color. Your eye on the prize. Your Mars is merging with your moon. And your moon is not in part. It is not in full. It is whole. Just like you are plenty. So there's no more there's moon-mindedness in the moon trick. Okay, so that's what it's talking about. The nodes spin around kind of like the hands on a clock. And that's what's being cleared away. So that you become the constant. And the things going on around you are the variable. Because when you are the constant, it's like being the driver in the car. You know, if you feel like a backcountry road drive, you choose that. If you feel like staying home, you choose that. If you feel like putting the top down, you choose that. That's what being the control is about. It's no more of this having to have the fear. No more of the fear. Okay, so let me scooch these babies where this is going up. Okay, so now Two of Wands is coming in along with Chiron. Very interesting, because we have the big cat and the big dog going on here. Things that were once foes becoming friends, making friends. Oh, if you look back a couple of videos before this, it was talking about the light embracing the dark and then the dark embracing the light. That's what makes peace. That's what creates this creative union. What did they say down here? Okay. The birth of the new business, because when you come together in that creative union, we know it makes babies. New ideas, new business, sparks go flying, the good kind, all right? And let's see. So with that, it clears that. And it's not like it dismisses it. It puts you in the center of it so that you begin to kind of like being the conductor, driving the rhythm and the music and being able to feel it and embrace it, to be in tune and in the rhythm of it. Kind of like it's very different between the horse and the rider. They work to merge and come together so that the feeling will be synonymous. Okay. So this is for wealth, Two of Wands, that union, stork, and that Ace of Wands, the moon coming up again. Okay, so you're asking me to talk a little bit more about the moon because that's a new idea to you. So the moon, yes, it does have power over our earth. And so think of that as like the earth being you and that moon having power over you, that it can create these tides and this waxing and this waning. So imagine if your moods were going like this, you know, and you're just feeling yanked about, or like a boat tethered to a post or a dock. As the water starts to move, it bumps and knocks it all around. Well, that's your body. This is your mind and your soul and your spirit. Why be knocking it? Baby, we ready to be rocking all night long. What? To the rhythm of who we are. And so when we come into the whole moon, then it becomes a sphere. It becomes a point. It becomes something that is divine, and the music is what we get to experience, as opposed to the being battered by it. The experience is quite different for the musician on the stage than it is the people in the audience. It's kind of like that. Okay. So let's keep moving forward. Now here with marriage, we have the Ace of Pentacles and we have that divine sunrise. What was it again? Creative, new ideas, new ventures, and a fresh start. That's fantastic because it's coming along in marriage, and a marriage is a commitment and a union, but I love it this time. Y'all, pardon the rocket. It's more than just the two, it's the three. And so 3 is that divine number of creativity. It's where things stay in motion, and the stagnance, again, pardon, I am still rocking a boat. It puts out that stagnance. It's just like our blood pumping in our veins and the fluid moving through our lymph nodes. the winds moving out around me and time moving forward and moving on, but it has this beautiful measure to it. That is life itself contributing to the growth and development. They're talking about a bit of magic here. That magic, that wisdom popping open. This is coming from your belly, almost like your navel. That sunrise, like the nadis in your navel, in your belly. Ooh, talking about clearing your vagal nerve, the old stress. Can you imagine if all the stress you've experienced in your life were null and void? It were canceled out? Well, see, money is also called currency. So could you imagine both because to me, wealth over here is more than just money. It's well-being. It's that health. It's just like we have guides, but our guides are also guards because they're keeping us along the path that we decided before we got here that is to our benefit. We step out of life university and we begin to step into life. And we're not seeking to have these lessons and these tests. We're seeking the experience, which is that's the way we're created to extrapolate information, to move through it, and we begin to build our preferences. That does away with that moon-mindedness, with the scales, with the justice, with the judgment. Okay, yeah, and that moon is under here on this one, on this Ace of Pentacles. And that's what's rising up. This new idea that you have the authority and power and permission to be in control of your life. Now, mind you, without having to parent yourself. That's not the kind of discipline that's coming on in, because some of us have a skewed vision of what that is. It's coming into the center of who we are and building a brand new dynamic relationship with ourselves, one that is beginning and founded on trust. Okay, that you're hearing it, and then if you're not sure, just tell yourself, hey, not today, or I'm going to wait on this a few minutes because it's not all that pressing, right? I mean, parts of my life are, but as I'm coming into the rhythm and the synchronicity of this, and I learn to not panic, I learn to calm that nervous system and allow the energy to flow, like the sunrise nadi, that's my new commitment, to flow and to go, not to force, to push or to pull, but to follow the experiences leading and guiding me into dessert, not desert, because it's coming after the full meal. It's things that begin to make sense. It's not like the hindsight is 20/20 of here's where you messed up. It's like, ooh, do you realize how that was, or how you noticed that, or what was that like for you? And, what was your experience here? It's talking to yourself in a more dynamic manner, almost kind of like a story instead of a fact check, instead of a police report. You got me? That's a creative new idea coming on in. Oh, and now under this next card at the header is that career. Remember, y'all, astral house. These are biggies coming on in here. And the fact that they brought me to it. And these were the ones that were said about turned down when I cleaned up the cards the other day. So it says scales, keep your life in balance. That is the medicine for your soul. And we are in the state of Libra right now if you're showing up calendarically. If not, this has to do with the mind and the heart coming together as one to move through the hands so that we have an experience that we celebrate, one that is life-giving. Do you see the flowers reiterating there and the cherry? One is life-giving, happy, and cheerful, okay? Because happiness is our birthright. It is our divine cellular nature. It is what we are to return to. That's why they're asking us to come back into the center, into the balance. Almost remember the point where the hands are attached to the clock. That is the one that's in control. It's not the one having to spin all around and move all over the place, and get sick on the wheel. No, it comes into the center and it becomes the observer. You become the observer. And that's where you form your preferences. And it's not about selling the world on this or that or whatever. It's literally knowing, that's not for me. Or, not today. Or, ooh, I want that. And you're like me and you follow your nose over there and you imbibe in it. And it's like, yes. And you're so excited. It's so delicious. That kind of living. There are those tests. Do you see how it's not school anymore? Of boring, boring, boring test, boring test, boring test. And I love learning, but whole body learning. Okay, doing away with just the mind and going into the whole body, the experience. And I love that. Look, a little hedgehog there. Nestling on into this idea, we have the Four of Swords. Now, there's one that you seem to still be keeping kind of close because you're not recognizing that contributing it to this casting your vote for your, we could say healing, but it's really restoration, the rest of the story, the moving forward, the moving on, and catching up, instant magic, the feelings catching up with you. Now that is the hard part, is when we begin to change our mind, the feelings aren't always changing. So when you know you've changed your mind and you're certain of it, you've cast your vote for it, right? This fourth sword comes up here along the three of swords, feeling like that you're hemmed in, trapped, that you're, this is never going to end. Well, yeah, you can keep lighting the fire on that, or you can come on out, or like Bob Barker, come on down and get into the perpetual spring, or whatever season, you know, the one that is abounding is what we're talking about. So taking that sword and casting your vote with that part of the moon, with that vote of your mind where it says, hey, go and do this, and you go and do it and you don't exactly like it, then you can adjust and adapt. It's about a life of enjoyment, a life of preferences, a life of pleasure, and you're asking for an angelarium on that. Ooh, we got Duma up in here, the angel of dreams, coming along with Lily at night. Maybe take a journal by your bedside table and write these. I see you. Keep coming up there. And keep a record of, even if it's just a word, even if it's a hint of a feeling, all right? And then begin to adapt and align your feelings to match with your mindset. Dayot, null, and emptiness. Okay. They're talking about this new dream. They want you to clear your mind. The sun is on the horizon, and this is not the sun setting. This is the sun rising. So this is where you're about to step into action. And that's what they're wanting you to do, to plant your sword, cast your vote here for the uprising, the awakening, the stepping into the moving forward. They need your permission. They need your permission to bless you. Money will be coming to you. This is a reiteration, y'all, of over here. This is Chiron coming in again. It's not just the spiritual, the healing, the clearing of the old mindsets, and the moving forward into the feelings that used to perpetuate in your body, convincing you that this would never change. You know, that old mindedness of, I know how this turns out. I know how this goes. But it's also bringing in the actual money, the provisions here on earth, the earthly provisions. And look, the flowers are along with it. They're saying that is what the flower is about. It is the evidence that this is an earthen reward, not just a state of mind, not just, okay, turn it around, flip it over, make the best, take the wisdom, dump the rest, that whole thing. They're talking about, no, actual, having a hand in helping your dreams come true. I love that, because Dayot is really excited. That casting of your vote is almost like this peg going into, they're saying, the cog. It's going into the thing that helps stop the spinning so that you can get off. You can get off. We're going to be dancing back around to some of these because the bow is now calling me. Let me see. I got to move these things out. Okay. Let's hope from this. What's up under there? Okay. They're talking about huge, abundant rewards. Yes. Okay. So the bow, you are highly thought of, and it's a red bow. It's talking about your power merged with your wisdom, ties it all together and brings it in all neat and tidy. Why? So that we can move quickly in it. It's clear, and the understanding is very much there because it resonates with the heartbeat of the people. And it allows the individuation of it. It means it's not these like hardcore facts. Remember, it's not that. It's organic and it's natural, and it allows it to rise up inside of each person. So this coming in has that air of magic going on of like, how did this all come together? And that's why they're saying, we need your permission to bring this all together, to allow your power, your beauty, and your might, beauty, man or woman. That is your integrity. Your life being the same on the inside as it is on the outside. And remember, they're clearing away those old feelings, that old debt, that old spinning backwards, spinning out of control, maybe the levying and the leveraging, that type of thing, and bringing it into the harmony and into the center. They're just asking your permission. Who? The guardians of the land. Okay, apparently you have a massive amount of abundance. Okay, as well as your guides. When the white stag and the white wolf come in together, that is something. Let me tell you that. So here we have the affirmators. Let's see who we have going on. Oh, baby, 17, the star. I love that because they're going to shut you out. Not you out of your life. They're gonna fast forward, burst you in, explode you into your life, but they're gonna close out all the old. That's why it's the guardian and the that wolf spirit. Remember the iceberg, that perpetual winter that you were in? That thing where it's all happening beneath the surface? Remember the springtime, the blossoms are coming in, and along with it, it's not waiting for the fruit. The money was already there. And I'm not saying on the calendar spring, I'm talking now. That warmth, that starlight cutting on inside of you, and you'll go, well, how does starlight do anything? The sun is a star. Yes, just like you are. And there's a whole constellation, a whole family of beings going into there. So this has some of what you were highly thought of, the bow, is having to do with. The bow. I think I want to get something on that. So let's get one of these cards here. Who's at the bottom? The 10 of Swords. Ugh. Is that the kind of attention you've been used to? I'm going to shuffle. But look at that. Look at all this radiance exuding outward. And remember, they were talking about beauty, the integrity, being the same on the inside as the outside. This is how you feel on the inside, and this has been some of your experience. And this is showing up very much like your heart. How difficult that must have been for you. You're thinking, yeah, highly thought of. Yeah, a career. I wanted something where I could hide or just kind of move off to the side where I wouldn't be under attack. Retain identity, higher self. Freedom equals source of all other gifts. That partnership. This is a relationship cue here. That exit's rising in. They're ready to cross the wires and make the connection. That I could see why you could be a bit unnerved. It's kind of like when Ghostbusters, when they cross the streams, that the power magnifies itself. Okay, I'm going to shuffle, but underneath we have the Queen of Cups coming in. That magnification. And here we have a whale. So a whale is a mammal that's able to make those deep dives and travel back up quickly. It's not like the submerged iceberg, which is subject to time, which is subject to temperature. This is the one that is, remember, being in the center of self. It's the self-control. And there's that red moon again. Knowing who you are and moving forward into the adventure of who you are to have the experience of the delight. That school of fish down there, there's a cup down there. The Cancerian crab is rising up. So here these crabby people moving on. Okay, now nothing about the crab. Remember, we're the whole zodiac. But when we're talking about the crab, their eyes are on top and there's so much suspicion. There's that scurrying away sideways and the watching and hiding and being afraid for one's well-being. But I have a feeling that's why Chiron showed all this to begin with. His breath speaking forth. Now, Chiron is also Ophiuchus, which is the 13th zodiac. That's also why they talk about 13 being an unlucky number, because it was to hide and conceal the magic. But that is what happens when the zodiac links together, okay? And it links in around Capricorn and the tail into Sagittarius. And now, if that's something you're looking forward to, is being able to be exalted in your wisdom. I'm talking about wearing your wisdom like those pearls. You need the clasp to hold it together. I am ready to accept and receive miracles beyond what I've ever experienced. So it's taking that step of faith, of trusting. And this isn't you like conjuring it, cajoling it, uncting it forward. No, literally, we're about to find out over here. Aside from your star power, that you got relations out in the stars going on here, and that's what they're showing. Looks so okay. See the color of the shirt being worn there? That's very much your cosmic clout. Okay, tell us about this cosmic clout, about why we should step forward into our stardom, into this family, this earthen family. I see you. What is this mess? I want to see what the holdup is. Knight of Wands. It's not a trick, not a show. It's not for show. It's for real. Remember? It's not just, oh, something that I'm saying out of my mouth. This is for real, okay? This is for real. How and when, I do not know, but it is coming soon. Yes, Seven of Swords up in here, Devil up in here, Chariot, Knight of Wands. It seemed like the only thing that was after you was a bunch of rules and regulations, okay? Being under the scrutiny of the many, okay? Or people lording themselves over you. This is showing up this time kind of like the Queen of Hearts. Off of their heads. You know, people want your authority, your power. Remember, they just want your permission. Is that when you speak, the magic is going to happen. You are safe. It's the devil showing up here in the Seven of Swords is that moon-mindedness of the past continuing to be your future because you're feeling it in the present. Transform your feelings. Get excited. Get excited, okay? Escaping that. See how the traps, the webs, being trapped in those lies, those mindsets that are telling you that that's all it'll ever be. Look here. This is integrity. See you in line, your mind and your feet. Mind over matter. I'm saying mind in unison with matter because we can see the antenna. I just have to call them that, y'all, the boppers of the snail coming on in, and that snail has wheels. Remember how we were saying it's going to be supernatural? Okay, supernatural. Where to stick that card? Oh, that was the card. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sagittarius in the Knight of Wands. Fast forward, move, rewind, fast forward, moving progress, Pichong, whichever way you see it. This has to do with when they were talking about lifting those measures of time, absolving the hands of the clock, which also have to do with the calendar and whatever else. It puts you into that fast forward and catches you up right where you should be and picks up with the rest of your story. Okay. Now with that, we have the gong coming in over here. Remember the bang gong, get it on. How do we get this on? This exciting event. Well, ring your bell. Toot your horn, celebrate yourself. That's what I'm hearing. So here is where we have the heart that started the reading. Love, deep affection, and caring. What's at the heart of the matter? Knight of Pentacles. Provision. Protection, provision, prosperity, that type of going on. How do we protect our mind from this moon-mindedness? And underneath we have the Ten of Cups. It's saying, trust us to be kind of that cell wall. Your happiness is your investment in your protection. So, sowing to your happiness is sowing to your protection. It is an investment. So you could think security. You could think your wealth, your retirement, you know, being prudent with your energy, that type of thing going on. Let's see. There's a card still creeping out from the other. Two of Swords. That's the light embracing the dark and making peace, making home. Making home with being here, being human. How do we go about with this? Because we are trained to believe magic is something that's just, remember, up in the mind. It doesn't ever really come real. It's just a trick. How do we really step into this? How do we really do this here? Let's get a crystal. How do we really do this, Chiron? Because I'm with them. I mean, I know these things when they're coming out of my mouth, but where does it get in the bank account? I feel you. Citrine. This is the crystal of wealth. The goldness self. Being self-centered. Otherwise, you'll be off. See, if this scale isn't in the center, it begins to tip and to move. So balancing your work and your play is one of the ways. I love it. Adventuring's coming in saying adventuring, because remember that new venture on the horizon. Try new things. trying new things. Something in it, he's talking about makes your mind begin to have to fascinate and to work, and being in touch with new information is like wind in your sails. It thrusts you forward in a manner that could not be explained. And it keeps your energy clean and clear, sunny, bright and sunny, that bright sunny energy. Because we think of the stars at night, but remember the sun is our star that we see during the day. I see you. Are there any more? I see you. That's a wad. What was sticking to you? There's a whole clod. What is holding you back? Some of you feel like you've seen too much and know too much. Like you could almost talk yourself out of it with your knowledge. And Daylight is talking about that emptiness here, coming in with your wisdom. Coming in with your wisdom. Dawn of a new day. Asking questions instead of giving the answer. Asking questions and waiting for the response team. Now think of it like an email. Remember, it can come when if you're in prayer and meditation or even driving your car. You can ask the question and fully be expecting to hear it, to receive it, and stay open to that, but keep moving forward. And then you go and you check your emails, or while you're going about your chores or you're doing mundane things, it slips right on in and it comes in a way that's very natural, that makes sense to you. You might not be like understanding of it because you might not have thought that way before, but it will begin to explain itself. Observer, movement, here and now. 49, 28, and 32. Looking to see it through your eyes. There again, we have the moon. Near and far. Sometimes we tend to look outside of ourselves when the answer is right around us. The answer is right around us. It's right around you. See, like that, the ostrich, you know, the burying the head in the sand when it's right there on your back. It's been you all along. Like this way of making power, there's a windmill there, and that's a way of making power for things like grinding grain and helping stuff transform and change forms. So even that is up above it. It is fast progressive movement, but there is an opportunity for a windfall. See that red balloon coming on in there? Goes along with this bow and this heart. The gong is sounding. Talking about miracles abounding. The hope is on the horizon. Hope is on the move. It's coming directly for you. And it's like, agree, because they're saying, Kay, agree. Is that okay with you? Is it okay if we bless you? So there's this part of our brain called the reticular activating system that the things that we think on, it will bring us more of. So Citrine's like, come in with that brand new idea, that ideas of adventuring, of being a star, of being pure and clean and radiant and bright, and all this golden self and this fresh new breath, the green breath of life, like the fresh breath of spring coming on in here, this rising up and superseding any and all of your expectations, any experience you've ever had. It is locating into the here and now. So I would say, don't continue to be torn. Go ahead and land. Land right up in the middle of it. I'm in the middle of my mess too. That's where the message comes. That's right. And the pennant and the banner. What does that say? Here and now. Integrity. It's like you don't even have to hatch out. That is your home. A way has already been made. It's more than just paved. Yeah, it is paved, but it's more than just paved. It's furnished. It's furnished. Hey, if that's you, leave a comment down below because I'd like to know how that's resonating with you. And it's right here around you. That once you settle down, you can settle in. You can settle into this new feeling and this new experience. And daily, day by day by day, the evidence and the proof comes in to confirm this trust, this abundance, this landing in the middle of it is. That is an act of faith. And that is what Dayat is talking about, the landing of this new idea that balances your scales. It's like In order for something to weigh, it needs a weighted point to create that balance, just like a plumb line. In order to measure, it needs to be weighted. So there's no more W-A-I-T. It's the landing of your ship right in the center of the here and now, and the past and the future melt away. The experience is right here now. Be here now. Be here now. And here I am. Well, that's exciting, everybody. That's a very interesting read. It felt quite different than the way I normally do. The loops and the looping, so we must be getting quite close, because they talk about being hurdy-gurdy or wobbly as we come closer into the atmosphere and we're about to land. You might even hear the engine and the gears turning and roaring, just like an airplane, as they begin to downshift and to land. So remember, talk to yourself about what these blessings and dreams are that you have in your heart. And if you feel led, give your permission for them to come forward. That's exciting. Hey, if you like this, give it a thumbs up if you are still here, because maybe you do, maybe you're curious, maybe whatever, but give that vote. It helps us rise to the top. Also, you can click the subscribe button. They are both free as always, and it'll help you hop on this joy train and vote for yourself and these messages coming forward for you. Okay? I love you, friend. Talk soon. Oh, remember to check out the Zodiacs coming up, maybe tomorrow, I think. I love you. Bye.